Starting plants from seed doesn't have to be complicated, but having the right tools makes all the difference. In this video, I'm going to share my top 5 essential seed starting supplies that I wouldn't be without. No matter what time of the year you're sowing seeds, if you want strong, healthy plants with fewer failures, stick around. Whether you're a beginner or you just want to improve your results, this video is for you. Hey everyone, how's it going? And welcome back. Seed starting is one of the most rewarding parts of gardening, but it can also be frustrating, especially if you don't have the right setup. And actually, you don't really need to invest very much at all to have great equipment and supplies that you can use year after year. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 essential supplies that I rely on every single year to give my seedlings the best possible start. These tools and mediums are really simple, but incredibly effective. But I'm not just going to talk to you about them. We're going to sow some seeds together, and I'm going to show you exactly how I use them for success. Okay, so let's kick off with the obvious. Good quality peat-free compost. And that's because your seedlings are only going to perform as well as the medium that they're growing in. So it is vital to use compost that provides them with the right balance of nutrients, aeration, and critically moisture retention. Now, peat-free compost is better for the environment. Well, it's pretty much essential for the environment now, given the amount that we gardeners use on a daily and yearly basis. Look for compost that's labelled as seed starting or fine grade to ensure that it's got this nice, light, crumbly, free of large particles texture. Otherwise, a multi-purpose compost is going to be fine, and later I'm going to explain why. The reason why you want a compost with a fine texture is to ensure really good germination rates. And what do seeds need more than anything to germinate? Moisture. And critically, consistent access to moisture. To get that moisture though, the seed needs to have really good contact with the compost particles. That's the real reason why we firm compost down around or on top of seeds. So imagine if you had big lumpy particles and a little small seed. There's not actually going to be that much contact. A nice fine compost instead helps the seed to have that contact. The moisture can wick across and it can absorb into the seed. Do you see how this looks? Just imagine how this feels. This kind of texture is what you're looking for. Lovely, light, fluffy and fine. Healthy compost equals healthy seedlings. It's as simple as that. Next up, let me introduce you to my secret weapon, or well, secret weapons, compost sieves. Now, this might sound really fancy and unnecessary, but trust me, these are essential tools for perfect seed starting compost. Remember a minute ago I mentioned about wanting a nice fine compost texture? Even good quality compost, like the stuff that I've got here, can still have small lumps and bits of debris that are going to prevent tiny seeds from germinating properly. To remove these, you use your sieve to get a really nice, fine, even compost mix. When you use a sieve, you create that ideal growing environment for seedlings, fine compost for better root contact with moisture and nutrients, encouraging higher germination rates. The sieves also just help to break down any obstacles that small seeds might struggle with or might struggle to push through as they're germinating. Using a sieve is so simple. Just shake the compost through the mesh and let the fine material collect below. That's the stuff that we want. I recommend a sieve about this size. This is probably about 8 millimeters in terms of the grid for your seed starting mix. It gives you a good balance, fine enough for seeds, but not too powdery. But I also have a second sieve with a mesh size of about, I suppose, 3 or 4 millimeters. I use this for gently covering seeds with a really fine layer of compost. This is a small step, but trust me, it makes a big difference. You wouldn't make a cake without sieving the flour, right? Well, it's the same here. Think of it as giving your seedlings the smoothest possible start in life. Plus, smooth, fine compost just feels a little bit more elevated if you're a perfectionist nerd like me. My next essential is going to seem a little bit like an odd one, but I do find it a game changer. It's this, vermiculite. It's a naturally occurring mineral that expands when it's heated, and it expands into these tiny, fluffy, kind of accordion-shaped particles. Now, you can also buy perlite, but when it comes to improving your compost mix, I highly recommend vermiculite over perlite for seed starting. While both do help with aeration and drainage, vermiculite has some added benefits that make it ideal for seedlings. Perlite is fine for improving drainage in pots, but generally I find that it's just that bit too chunky, whereas vermiculite, as you can see, well, it's finer. Think back what I just said about having nice fine compost. It allows you to create a really nice, open, airy seed compost mix that doesn't have massive chunky lumps in it. But where vermiculite particularly wins out is that as well as providing aeration and drainage, it also retains moisture, so it's a double win. So I use vermiculite in two ways. For tough, unfussy seeds, I'm just going to sow them straight into regular compost like this. But for things that are that little bit more fussy, I'm going to mix some of this vermiculite in to make the perfect blend. That way, they just have an even better start in life. But for very fine seeds or seeds that need light to germinate, I like to sprinkle a layer of this on top of the compost after sowing. It helps keep the surface moist, it doesn't form a crust like a compost will, and it stops your seeds from drying out. This is such a useful additive. It's actually not that expensive. One thing that I particularly hate about using perlite is the dust that it creates during mixing. It's also not very good for your health. Vermiculite produces much less, which I prefer. Makes it easier to use. And that is what we're looking for. Beat that perlite. Ha! Right. The essential of all essentials when it comes to equipment. These small seed trays, and in particular, this exact size. Now, I know that sounds a bit obsessive, but hear me out, okay? It's probably easier if I tell you the things that I don't like about other options. So say I grab a plant pot like this. These hold too much compost unless you're starting something large like a broad bean seed. That is just a waste of compost, and soggy compost equals mould and rot that's going to result in failure. On the flip side, I find these small modular trays incredibly frustrating. They seem to be absolutely perfect at 1, drying out too fast, 2, running out of room in no time, and 3, getting damaged unless you invest in sturdy plastic ones. So, let me introduce you to what I think is the holy grail of seed trays. These trays are just perfect for starting seeds because they provide the ideal amount of space for seedlings to grow before transplanting. Small trays allow you to sow loads of different seeds in individual trays, but still in a small area, so it's going to save on space on your windowsill, your greenhouse bench, or under grow lights. Then your seedlings can simply be pricked out into individual pots once they're a little bit larger and ready to grow on. Now, a regular seed tray, got my irises in this one. I have used these for a number of years, but I find that they just cause me to sow more seeds than I need, and for the vast majority of things that you're going to start from seed, this size is more than sufficient. You'll see, well, actually here, how solid these are. These are already 3 years old. When choosing trays, opt for ones that are really sturdy and made of reusable plastic, rather than flimsy kind of disposable plastic that's going to fall apart. Investing in good quality trays can save you money in the long run, reduce waste, and they're just nicer to use. So, we've got our seeds sown, and the final essential item is a tray to set your seed trays into for watering. Now, this may seem really basic, but bottom watering is one of the best ways to water your seeds in and care for your seedlings. Here's why. Watering from below allows the compost to soak moisture upwards evenly, and it reduces the risk of washing seeds out of the compost or damaging tiny seedlings with heavy watering from above. All you have to do is get your deep container and simply set your seed trays in this larger tray, fill it with water and let the compost soak for 10 to 15 minutes. Once the top of the compost feels damp, remove the seed tray, let it drain, and when it's damp, you can also see that there's a kind of sheen to the top of it. When you're looking for a tray, look for one that's deep enough to hold your water, plus your seed tray, but at the same time isn't so big that it's not difficult to move. I like using something sturdy and reusable that isn't going to bend when you've got water in it. These are a bit flexible, but when I've got lots of seed trays on the go, I find these work an absolute treat. Bottom watering is a really simple technique that makes a massive difference to the success of your seedlings. No more overly soggy compost or guesswork or washed away seeds. Just happy, healthy seeds and seedlings. So there you have it, my top 5 supplies for starting plants from seed. Now that you've got all of these noted down, good luck with it. And this is the next video to watch because it's packed with my top recommendations that are going to help keep you on track for your best seed sowing and planting year ever. And until next time, see you later.